Now it's time for Perform Like a Pro.
All right, guys, today we're going to do some small engine repair. See, I've got this Husky pressure washer that I've had for a few years, and it's been sitting outside. It has seen the worst of the wear. It's got a great Honda engine in it. However, I didn't really take care of it right, so I didn't store it right, which means it had bad gas in it. So I got that taken out of here, cleaned that up a month or two ago, got it dried out, got that disposed of correctly. Today we're going to dive into this thing and see what's wrong with it and get it fixed so we're good to go. The first thing we're going to do, since I've got the gas drained out of it so we're safe there, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this spark plug and get that changed out because I don't think that's ever been changed, so it's got the OEM one inside. Now, spark plugs will tell us what's going on in here. If I tried to drive this thing, run it with all the bad gas in it, it's going to look like it and you're going to see it. All right, and that's exactly what it is. This is what they call a fouled spark plug, which means it's got too much fuel on it, which means it's not going to work. Once that gets all caked up with that fuel that didn't burn, you're not going to get a spark out of it. So first off, let's take a look. I bought a kit on Amazon. This was $13. Now, there is a little bit of a risk when you buy something this cheap because it could have kind of subpar parts, but we'll take a look and see how it goes. This came with a new carburetor, a new spark plug, and of course some gaskets. Now let's take a look and I'll compare those spark plugs side by side so you can see what a new one looks like and what the old one looks like. Should be looking more like this. If this was running correctly, this could be gray, you'll still see some of the white. So this one is definitely fouled. So I'm gonna get this one out of here and put the new spark plug in. This one came pre-gapped, and what a gap is it's the distance between the insulator and that electrode there in this top piece. That's the distance of spark, so that controls how much spark we have. Never use power tools on spark plugs because this is aluminum and this is being steel. You'll cross thread it and the engine's junk, or you're gonna be taking it to a machine shop and trying to pay somebody to save it. So always start the threads by hand. Just like that. The other mistake you can make is over tightening this. So you wanna get it snug, but not enough to strip out. I'm gonna hook this back up when we're all done with it. It's just a safety thing I do, especially if this was a lawnmower. I always leave that spark plug off of there, that lead, so that way it doesn't start up on you. So we're gonna move this around to the side. Now let's take off the carburetor and take a look at that, because I think I got a lot of bad fuel to clean up in that thing. All right, so we're gonna take off the air filter housing here first. Get that out of the way. And this kind of just slides out of here. It's a little dirty, but not horrible. That will still work. Probably need to replace it at some point. If we get inside, we've got these screws here, so we're gonna take those off. Got the sockets. Got that elusive 10 millimeter. And we're gonna take this off because the carburetor is hiding behind it. What the carburetor is, it looks just like this. That's what controls the air and fuel mixture that goes into the engine. All right, let's take this out. This all loosened up, and this is all going to come out as kind of one big piece here, so we'll have to kind of separate things out. You need to be kind of careful because there's gaskets and kind of 3 or 4 things coming across and apart at the same time, so always kind of pay attention. And when in doubt, take some pictures with your phone if you don't remember how things go back together. All right, sometimes these fuel lines get baked on, and I'm just going to cut it off right here without hitting the wires or anything else around it. There we go. But what is interesting, and let me take this apart and show you the inside, because this is the fuel bowl right here, and that's where the fuel comes in. And if you look at the inside of this, this is where all that nasty fuel goes in and actually just goes in there and sits in there and corrodes, and you can see that nasty buildup. Now there's a way to prevent this from happening is one, if you can get really good gas in there, and if you go to a farm place that sells gas out in the country, they do have that clear gas, which will have a lot less additives in it. And then what I recommend is going in every season when you go to store this thing, what would have prevented this is putting some Sta-Bil in this. That would have been something that if I would have treated this, kept the gas in there, would have lasted all through the winter time until the spring when I do that spring cleaning. One thing when you're cleaning these, you just kind of clean as you go through these things, because you want this all to seal up correctly, and any dirt, grease, it just makes it a little bit harder for it to seal up. And you don't, if this doesn't run right, it could be just that you have a bad gasket sealant right there. All right, I'm confident enough to go ahead and tighten everything down right here. Then we get this thing out there and see if I have a pressure washer that works. Next step, we're gonna go outside, put some fuel in it, because I'm not doing that inside the garage. We're gonna hook some water up, because you don't wanna do this. If you run this thing without water in it, you're gonna burn the pump up, then it's back to the repair shop again. Let's see how well this thing works. I hope I fixed it. All right, there we go. All right, there you go, guys. This is how you get your outdoor power equipment ready for spring, even when you haven't maintained it enough. Now here's the thing. If you want to watch this again, you can always catch it on our YouTube channel. Now this thing's all ready for spring cleaning.